Okay, today I'm going to teach you how to make Finnish fruit plait. Please make sure that you've cleaned your surfaces, you have your hands washed and you've got an appropriate apron on just to keep yourself clean. First off, I'm going to turn the oven on so it needs to run at 200 degrees C or fire at gas pot 5. Okay, so I've already weighed out all my ingredients and put them into little bowls just to make this quicker. I've chopped the fruit up, I'm going to beat my egg in a minute, and I've measured my milk out. So first off, we're going to put your flour, your spices and your salt into a bowl. I've already sieved these, but you can sieve them if you like. Remember, when you do your sieve, don't bang it against the sieve against the side of the bowl, just bang it against your hands so the flour doesn't shoot out the bowl. Pop that in and mix around. Next thing you're going to do is going to add your sugar. Give that a quick mix. I'll use your hands when you're mixing this and you can see how moist or dry your mixture is at all times. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to rub in our butter. Butter or margarine is used to extend the shelf life of your product, to add colour and flavour. So just rub it in. When you're rubbing, you're just using the fingertips of your hands. Your palm should not be getting dirty. You will not see this rubbed in the end. You won't be able to see the product in the dish. So you should just rub it in and it should just disappear. It's only take a couple of minutes. It doesn't matter if you use butter or margarine. It's just easy if it's being at room temperature so you can rub it in. Okay, so that's all rubbed in. Let's check at the bottom. Okay, the next stage, if you rub your hands, you should get most of the mixture off your hands, so it should stay clean. I'm just going to put my milk into the microwave. I'm going to put it in for about 20 seconds. You can use dairy alternatives. So non-dairy alternatives would be things like soy milk, coconut milk, oat milk, rice milk, whatever you like, and they do the job just as well. If you haven't got that, water will be fine as well. Okay, while waiting for that, I'm going to put my chopped fruit in. It can be mixed peel. I put mixed chopped apricots as well in mine. You can put nuts in if nobody's got an allergy. This is a fruit plait, so we'd like to put dried fruit in if possible. Fresh fruit would add too much moisture to your bread, so that's why we add dry to it. So mix that in, coat them all in flour. So you should have a mixture with all your fruit bits in it. Okay, raisins, sultanas, etc. Next, we're going to make a well into the middle. So well is like a little dip in the middle. I don't think you can see that. And you're going to add your milk onto it. Add the milk. Oh, sorry. Before you do that, add your yeast. Take that in. Most important ingredient, your raising agent. Maybe you forgot that. So mix that in. Make sure that's well distributed, and then make a well in the middle. Now this milk has got to be lukewarm, which means it must be the same temperature as your blood. If you put your finger in it, you shouldn't be able to tell if it's hot or cold. It should just feel the same temperature as your finger, so it shouldn't actually really feel anything, just feel wet. So what you're going to do then is you're going to add a little bit. You might need more, you might need less. Don't add it all at once. Use your hands. It says on the recipe to add a palette knife. Use your hands to mix this round. You can then tell if you've got enough in, and you can just try and stick the dough together. And mix it round. If your hands start to get sticky, don't worry, it'll come off eventually when you start kneading. The reason your milk has to be warm is because that's what the temperature the yeast needs to start to multiply and then produce carbon dioxide to make your bread rise. So lukewarm is also known as blood temperature, so it's the same temperature as your blood. So mix that round. Mine's starting to come together, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Okay, as it starts to get sticky, don't add any more. Use your hands, bring it together. I said before, don't worry if it gets too stick to your fingers, it'll come off eventually. Mine's coming together a little bit. Might have the rest of that. Have some spare flour at hand just in case you need to add some more, because it will come together all of a sudden. Now, if you think it's not going to come together enough, on the ingredients list is an egg. This is for glazing at the end. You can add a little bit of egg now if it's not coming together enough. This will add richness to your dough. Okay, I'm not going to add any more. Although it's not come together properly, I'm going to do something called kneading on the table. So I'm going to put the crumbs from my bowl onto the table. I'm not going to add any more extra flour to start off with. I'm going to start kneading it. Now, you knead by pushing with the heel of your hand. The heel of your hand is this bit here. You push away, pull towards you, push away and pull towards you. If it was a bit crumbly, push it down like this. Keep going. I'm going to do this for 5 minutes. Now, if you use brown flour, you'll need more liquid in it to dig it together. You must use strong plain flour because that's got gluten in it, which is a protein which allows your dough to become elastic. So I'm going to stretch it. You can use both hands. I'm going to make your dough. And we'll try and get as many cracks as possible out your dough. You will lose currants and raisins as you go. You can pick that up later. It's starting to clean off the table on my hands. Keep pushing it. If it becomes too sticky, just add a little bit of flour onto the table. You don't want to add too much because it'll make your dough dry. Keep pushing. Now, the yeast is our raising agent. That needs time, warmth, food, and air to survive. So we have provided it with time. This is kneading now. This is called kneading. And time for it to multiply. We're giving it food, we give it salt and sugar. Warmth from the milk and with the oven as well. So we provide it with the conditions it needs to survive. What happens is the yeast will provide carbon dioxide, which will produce bubbles in your bread, allowing it to rise. And the heat from the oven will set it in the structure of the air bubbles in it. Mine's getting a bit stuck. Still strong plain flour. The smell of bread is so nice. It's because one of the byproducts of cooking is alcohol. That's what you can smell as it's baked in a bakery. Keep pushing. It should be getting smoother. Your dough should be getting smoother and more stretchy. So that's the gluten in your flour. If you just use normal plain flour, you wouldn't have gluten in it, so it would not go so stretchy. Keep going. So you're going to make this into a plait. So in a minute, we're going to cut it into 3. Okay, you need to do this for 5 minutes. I'm going to stop here so you don't get too bored. I'm going to cut it into 3. So, try and cut it into 3 equal parts. You can just do this with a normal butter knife. It doesn't have to be a sharp one like this. And then make them into sausages. So, roll them first. And then roll them out on the table. They will ping back because it's the elasticity of the dough now. You'll stretch them and they will shrink back again a bit. You don't want to make them too thin. You see it, I don't think you can see that it's shrinking back as I rest it on the table. Ping back. So. Right, so now you're going to stick them together at the end. Hang on. Put them together at the end. Anybody's got long hair or can plait hair to do this, so right over the middle one, left over the middle one.